What is up, guys? Justin here with a pickups video for you today. Yes, I am back with a pickups video and what might be the score of the year right here. I'm definitely putting this in the top 3 for the year. I'm still kind of trying to decide exactly where this falls, but there is a lot of nice stuff in here. A lot of nice stuff that's going to be going into my collection, so I definitely felt this was worthy of shooting a video for. There's not really much of a backstory to go along with this. I basically got in contact with a gentleman through our dealings at our local antique shop where we have a booth set up. He had taken one of our cards like, I guess, a year or two ago and finally got around to giving me a call. Let me know that he had a bunch of Nintendo and Sega stuff that he was looking to sell, like a few bins worth of stuff. Told me that most of it had like the original boxes and stuff, so it sounded promising, and it was. I went and checked it out that same day. Got an absolutely killer deal on everything, which we'll get into at the end. But I'm going to hop into this, start showing you guys what I got here. I'm going to start out with the Super Nintendo stuff. Not a lot of Super Nintendo stuff, but the few things that are here are pretty quality, including this boxed system here. So this is the Model 1 system that came with the Super Mario World. I believe I already have this bundle up there, and I think mine's probably in better shape. The bottom of this one looks, it's probably hard to tell on camera, it looks a little bit faded. So this may have been sitting near or in a window or something at some point. But other than that, the box is not too bad. And on the inside, the system, well, the system was in good, like, I guess you could say cosmetic condition, in that it wasn't like cracked or chipped or anything, but it was extremely yellowed. So obviously the previous owner took care of it, but yeah, I mean, what are you going to do about that? The set looked to be mostly complete. There was no power adapter, which was a little bit odd, but not a huge deal. I've got extras of those. It came with the Super Mario World cartridge as well. And one more loose game, which was Bill Lambier's Combat Basketball. And then a few boxed games here. The first one being Donkey Kong Country, which is in really nice shape. There is like a torn Blockbuster sticker on the back, so I'll have to see if I can get that off of there, because if I can, this will probably be a condition upgrade for the one I already have. We've got Super Mario All-Stars here, which is not in as good a shape. There's a big tear in the corner up there. But this was the only box game, I believe, in this entire deal, between Super Nintendo, N64, Genesis, even some GameCube, that did not have a manual. So everything else I'm going to show that had a box was complete, I believe. And I think I have an extra manual for that one anyway, so not a huge deal there. And the last Super Nintendo game is Super Metroid. And look at the condition on that. This was like the first thing I saw when I got there, and I immediately knew that this was going to be a home run of a deal. Just for this, just to get this alone in this condition is insane. Definitely going to be an upgrade for mine. I think the box I have is like a 6, maybe 7 out of 10, and I give this one probably at least a 9. There are a couple minor creases and stuff on the bottom, but really nice condition there. Super excited to get this one because I've been playing through Metroid Dread on the Switch recently, which is like the most fun and entertainment I've gotten out of a video game in years. Super similar to Super Metroid mixed with like, you know, like the Mega Man X series from the Super Nintendo, which are 2 of my favorite series on the system. So yeah, that game is just knocking it out of the park for me right now, and super excited to get this condition upgrade for my collection. Now, that was all for the Super Nintendo. I'm going to move on to N64, which was probably the bulk of this deal, I would say. And we're going to start out again with a boxed system here. Now, this one looks from the front to be in really nice shape, but unfortunately it looks like a dog or something got to this flap right here, because that is all chewed up there. But let's take a look at the inside of this one. It looked to be a complete set. There was the system with the instruction manual, controller, and both cables. It didn't have any like baggies or twist ties or anything like that, but I would still consider this a complete in box system. And it also came with some accessories, some boxed accessories. So check this out. We got not 1, not 2, but 3 boxed black N64 Controllers. And I think I already have a black one in the box. It's kind of hard to tell with the way my lighting is right now, but I believe 2 out of 3 of these came with the cardboard inserts in them, which I know I'm missing a couple of those, so at the very least I'll be able to hang on to those. But yeah, super awesome to get 3 boxed black controllers. In addition to that, we also got a boxed Rumble Pack here. $19.96 back in 1998, not bad. So I definitely don't have one of those, so I'll be keeping that. And then there was also a boxed expansion pack. So it's not actually in here. I believe it's in the system, I think. I was just going to leave it in there until I had a chance to test it. But I think that actually he put the jumper pack in here now that I think about it. But yeah, I'll be hanging on to this as well. I don't believe I have an expansion pack in the box. So that'll be going on the shelf as well. And then that was it for like the accessories and stuff. Moving on to the boxed games here. And there's some really nice stuff in here. I'm going to start out with one that I do need for my collection, and that is Cruisin' World. So these boxes, he had stored the cartridges separate from the boxes, and I just left them that way because I have to clean the cartridges off and everything anyway, so these are all empty, but the cartridges are in here. Cruisin' World, this one was awesome because I just checked before this video, and I have Cruisin' USA and Cruisin' Exotica complete in box, but I did not have this one, so this kind of completes that set for me. Next up, this one is a double for me, but probably a condition upgrade. WCW NWO Revenge in, I mean, basically mint condition. I guess you could argue there's a tiny bit of crushing on the front, maybe, but that's going to be a condition upgrade, I'm pretty positive. We got WCW NWO World Tour, also in really nice shape. Perfect Dark here. And I'll have to look at mine. I think the one I have is like the Canadian version because there's like French on the manual and maybe on the box as well. So this might be like a variant for me. I'll have to kind of decide if I want to keep both of them or not. Next up is Asteroids Hyper 64. I think I had the carton manual for this, but I definitely did not have the box. This one is a double for me, but again, I'll have to check condition. The new Tetris. Fairly uncommon box to get for the N64. We got Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which I believe is a double, but again, probably a condition upgrade. We got both Battle Tanks games here. So we got Global Assault and then the original Battle Tanks. These ones got a little bit of crushing on like the back corners, but still I would say very nice condition. We got Vigilante 8, another double for me, but really nice shape. 007 Goldeneye. He told me that he used to be very good at this game, you know, back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And I guess he was telling me about tournaments that went on locally, which I had no idea about. I probably would have been too young for him anyway. But he said he used to compete in tournaments for this game locally, which I thought was kind of a cool story. We got Jet Force Gemini, and then the 2 heavy hitters here at the end. So here we got The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and since I can tell right where the cartridge is, I might as well show that because it's the gold one. Here it is here. So this is the holographic one, and I thought that I had both versions of this complete in box, but I didn't. I actually only had the paper label one complete in box, not the collector's edition, which was the more common one, which was the holographic one. So I think I'm going to be keeping this one as well because when you combine that with this next one here, this is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Collector's Edition. I now have both versions of both games complete in box. Here's the cartridge for Ocarina of Time. The manual is in here as well. And this was insane because up until just recently, the beginning of September, we were on our way down to LinkCon in Merrill, Wisconsin, and we stopped at a bunch of stores, and I ended up picking up this cartridge in a big N64 bundle that I purchased from another shop owner, and I had never had the gold cartridge up until that point. And now I found 2 of them in 2 months, one of which is complete in box, so I'll obviously be hanging on to this one, and I'll have an extra cartridge available. But yeah, that's just insane to going from never having it in 10 years of collecting to finding 2 in 2 months. So anyway, that was all the 64 stuff there. I'll show the GameCube stuff next because there's also not a ton of it, and then I'm probably going to have to clear some room to show the Sega stuff. But I'll show this quick here. This GameCube system, it was a black system. I think this one was complete. Had the system, matching controller, the cables, and the instruction manuals. And I don't think I have a black system in the box. I have 2 Indigo ones there, and then the Metroid Prime Silver one. So this will be my 4th boxed GameCube now. And then just a handful of games, but these are all AAA titles here. We got Mario Kart Double Dash. They're also in mint condition. I mean, this case feels brand new. This was the bonus disc edition. So I have a feeling this will be a condition upgrade on mine. We've got Luigi's Mansion here. We've got Pikmin, which I haven't had in quite some time. Star Wars Rogue Leader Rogue Squadron 2. And the final GameCube game, the heavy hitter here, Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventures. And it probably looks a little bit off, and that's because I have it in a DVD sleeve, because it wasn't until I got home and started organizing everything that I realized that this is a factory sealed copy of the game. And again, it's in a DVD sleeve because I don't want to accidentally rip it doing this video or, you know, or whatever, so I'm protecting it as best I can. But yeah, that was definitely a nice bonus to realize that this was sealed. Like I said, it was such a frenzy when I was there because I was so overwhelmed with all of this other nice stuff that I didn't even really take the time to examine everything closely, especially because I knew I was going to be getting a great deal on it. So anyway, I believe that's it aside from just the loose cartridges down here for the boxes I already showed. So let me clear myself some room here, and I will be right back with the Sega stuff and a few other miscellaneous items. Alright, let's go with the Sega Genesis stuff here, starting out once again with another boxed console, a boxed Model 1 Sega Genesis. The high definition graphics version here came bundled with Sonic the Hedgehog, and this one looked to be pretty complete to me. It had the system, the controller, the cables, the game was in there. And it had the instruction manual, and this one did have a bunch of extra baggies and twist ties. Now, I have not gone through yet to see, you know, which baggie is supposed to go with which, you know, adapter or controller or whatever, but it looked to be all there. And so I'm kind of torn on this one because I already have 6 boxed Genesis systems. I only have 1 boxed Model 1 Genesis system, and it's not this bundle. But I don't know, I'm just like, do I really need another one? I'll probably end up keeping it if I can find room for it. The other Model 1 box Genesis I have is like a refurb box. So I was kind of playing with the idea of maybe swapping this one for that one. But I kind of like the idea that it's a refurb box. It's kind of unique, so I don't know. What would you guys do? Drop a comment and let me know. You keep both of them, or would you just keep this one, or just keep the refurb one? Let me know what you would do. But I'm going to hop into, well, the one accessory I got, I guess, at least peripheral, and that is a control pad. I think this must have been like the original box for the original controllers when they were sold. I've never seen this box before. I've never had one. There was nothing in it other than the controller itself. There was no like insert or paperwork or anything, so I don't know how complete it is, but there you go. I still got to test out that controller. And then the only other kind of non-game here was this game Genie, which came with a bunch of code books here. Oh, there's even another one down here. So this might have been all of the code books for it. I'll have to see if I have these. I think I have an actual game Genie, but I don't know if I have the books for the Genesis one. And then getting into the games here, the only loose cartridge I got was Risk. Everything else was boxed and, as I mentioned, complete. This one looks a little odd. That's Vector Man. So this is like the cardboard box. I think this only came in a cardboard box, if I remember correctly. I'll have to double check on that. But the manual is in here, and the only thing that's missing is the like the red cardboard insert. I think I might have an extra one downstairs. Hopefully I do, so I can actually complete this, because I have Vector Man 2 complete in box. I do not have the first one. I think I've had it before, but the one I had was completely destroyed, so I got rid of it. But that'll be nice to add to the collection. And then getting into the games here, I already showed the Sonic 1 that came with the system, but he also had Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. This might be a condition. I think mine's pretty nice though, so I'll have to see if this one's nicer than mine. But I already have all of those. Next up we have Operation Europe, Axis versus Allies. I do not have this one, so I'll be keeping it. I can't tell if this one's faded on the front, or sometimes it's got like that art style that looks like it might just look naturally faded. So I'm not too worried about that one. I'll be hanging on to that. We've got MTV's Beavis and Butthead. Again, all of these are complete. And for the most part, they're in really nice shape. General Chaos is a cool one I don't see all the time. I do already have it though. This is one for the collection here. Championship Pro-Am. This looks like one of those racing games that could be really expensive. I don't think it is though, but I'm hanging on to it anyway, so that'll be going in the collection. We've got NBA Jam here, which I will also be keeping. I checked before I filmed this video, and actually I can see it right now over there. I only have NBA Jam Tournament Edition, TE, for the Genesis. I did not have this one. So I'll be hanging on to this, and actually I might take one or both of them to MGC. The Midwest Gaming Classic is coming up in just a couple weeks here. It got pushed to November this year. And they're advertising that Tim Kitzrow, the guy that did, you know, the voice of, you know, the announcer voice in the game, who was there the last time we were there, and I got this t-shirt, and I got a picture signed and my cartridge signed by him. So I think I might take my Genesis cartridges and see if I can get another signature, maybe some pictures and a shout out like last time with Tim Kitzrow again. We got Rampart here. I've never had this one before. That'll be going in the collection. Here's a double here, Jurassic Park, real nice condition with the hang tab though. One I thought I had, but come to find out I didn't, and that is Mutant League Football. So I think there was a hockey one that came out on the Genesis as well. Look at this beast manual here. Oh my gosh. Now I think originally that this was supposed to come with like some trading cards or something, which I don't see in here, so if that's the case then maybe this isn't fully complete, but I'm going to hang on to it anyway because this is not one that I see very often. The only one I would classify as junk, maybe the only junk game in this entire deal, was Triple Play 96. We've got Toe Jam and Earl, the first one. We've got eSWAT City Under Siege. I believe I already have this one. Golden Axe, which I do not have. I'll be hanging on to this one. I kind of wish it was... because I think this came out with a different case artwork. This is like the Sega Classics one, Classic, which I'm assuming was a re-release at some point. So I guess I'd like to get the original release at some point, but I've never had this one complete in box. I've played it like on the 6-pack and stuff, but I've never owned it complete, so I'll be hanging on to this one for the time being. And then the last two Genesis games here, the two heavy hitters, I guess you could say. This one was probably the thing I was most excited about in the whole deal. That is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Hyperstone Heist. Complete in box. And the reason I was so happy to get this one is because I have owned this game before. I actually found this game at our local St. Vincent de Paul thrift store back in 2014, probably. And it was missing a manual. Now, I got it for like $1 or $2, so I wasn't going to complain too much, but when it comes to Genesis games, I might have like 1 or 2 on my shelf that don't have manuals, but it really irks me. So I ended up selling that one a while back, and I'm really happy to find a complete one that I can now add to the collection. Finally say that I have it complete. And the last Genesis game here, which I had never even heard of before, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, that's got to be expensive. And you'll probably see why when I show it. It's called Aeroflash. Looks to be a shooter. And again, one that I've never seen before. And I was pretty pleasantly surprised when I looked this up and confirmed that, yes, this is quite an expensive one. I'm assuming it's a rare one, or at least uncommon, being that I've never seen or heard of it before. But yeah, this is another one that's definitely going to be going into the Genesis collection. So lots of Genesis stuff here. I have to make some room on my shelf. I have room for maybe like 2 or 3 more games, and I definitely have more than that here that I'm adding to the shelf. So I'll have to do some kind of rearranging and make that work. So that'll be my project for this afternoon, I guess. But anyway, a few other things that I wanted to show, just like accessories and stuff. There was another box of stuff that came with this deal that I'm not going to show here in detail. It was mainly just like controllers and stuff. There was another Model 1 high definition graphics Genesis system in there. I don't know if both of the ones I got are going to work. Seems like odd that he would have 2 of the exact same one if they both worked, but if it does, that's going to be a huge bonus. Anyway, there was also an original Xbox in there with 3 or 4 controllers. There was some other extra like GameCube controllers. There was like 3 extra black GameCube controllers, I think. So the guy really loved his black controllers, apparently, with the N64 and the GameCube ones. But then a few other things. There was some miscellaneous paperwork, a couple manuals for those loose Super Nintendo games, and then some Sega Game Gear manuals. Which I asked him, I was like, hey, you got any Game Gear stuff hanging around anywhere? Thinking he'd pull out, Complete Mega Man or Shining Force or something. But he told me that I guess this just came with some of the Genesis stuff he bought at some point and never had a Game Gear system. And then finally, the last things I believe I'm going to show for this video are some guides here. Just a few of them, but we got the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask guide here. This is the Prima one, or Prima, however you say that. This, which I've never seen before, Ocarina of Time official strategy guide. So this is the Brady Games one. I think this is like the 3rd Ocarina of Time strategy guide that I have, and I'm pretty sure they all say like official guide on them, but they're all by different companies. So I think I'm going to hang on to that. Goldeneye 007. This is a Nintendo Player's Guide. I don't believe I have this. And I don't believe I have this either. Perfect Dark Nintendo Player's Guide. So the big question is, what kind of deal did I get on this entire bundle here? As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the guy had taken my card like a year or 2 ago, he said, and finally got around to calling me. He had just been sitting on all this stuff. He knew what he had in the sense that like he knew that because he had all the boxes and stuff that there was a lot of collector value there. But he was like way past the point of wanting to piece it out and like try and sell it all himself, and that's basically what he told me. And he threw out, I think eventually he threw out $275 for everything. I only had 20s in my wallet. I just gave him $280 or whatever, and he was happy. I was super happy. Obviously, that is a killer deal on all of this stuff. He also mentioned that he has some Atari and some NES stuff that I guess he still plays. He didn't want to sell it with the rest of this stuff. But you better believe I'm going to keep his number, because in a couple months I'm just going to shoot him a casual text. Hey, if you've got any other stuff you want to get rid of, let me know. And hopefully, maybe you guys will be seeing another follow-up video to this deal in the future. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for sticking around and checking out this whole video. And until next time, take care.